Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome. We're going to talk about the book of Job today. This notion here that this suffering he goes under is just a test. It's almost like a bet between Jehovah and Satan, and it really is quite grisly when we look at what's happening here. And it's not something I believe that a wholly moral and good God would ever engage in, and we're going to see how in the periphery as well. I mean, this involves killing quite a few people just to make the point, and we never hear about those people again. They just die, and the sheep and the cattle and so on. So it's not good for Jehovah. It doesn't look like a very moral thing to do, just to one up, Satan, who he's supposed to have created anyway. But anyway, I mean, it's hard as well because it looks as though in this assembly before the Lord there are sons of God, and there's Satan, the accuser here, walks among them. So in Job 1:6, and God boasts about his servant Job. So we'll just get into it right here. He says, "There is none like him, a perfect and an upright man." 1:8. Satan challenges the claim. Job's faith, he argues, exists only because God protects and prospers him. Remove the blessings and the loyalty will vanish, is the statement here, is the refrain. So Job 1:12 here, "And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand." A celestial bet is struck. God grants permission to destroy Job's world simply to prove that faith can survive catastrophe. So God is granting all of this stuff that will happen to Job. The first wave, the loss of family and fortune. 4 calamities follow in brutal succession. So the first, raid of the Sabians, oxen and donkeys stolen, servants killed. This is in Job 1:14 and 15. Fire of God. Lightning burns the sheep and the shepherds, right? 1:16. Chaldean raiders now. Camels taken, more servants slain. 1:17. Desert wind collapse. Okay, house crushes all 10 of Job's children. He's killing children here, 10 of them. 1:18 and 19. 10 children perish, every servant but 3 low messengers are murdered. Job's entire livelihood, thousands of animals are obliterated. Yet Job does not curse God. The Lord gave and the Lord hath taken away. And there's something in that. I will grant there is actually something there. It's a very Buddhist almost way to look at things. Things come and things will go. Get used to that. But this story here, it's the essence of the story that I think lots of people have problems with. The second heavenly meeting, after Job endures the first round of disasters, refusing to curse God, the story shifts back to heaven. Once again, the divine council gathers and the Lord speaks to Satan directly. Job 2:3. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, and a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest my hand against him to destroy him without cause. This statement is extraordinary. God himself admits that he allowed Job to be destroyed without cause, purely to demonstrate his faithfulness. This is cultic behavior. The Hebrew word hinam literally means for nothing, without reason or gratuitously, underscoring the moral gravity of what has occurred. Number 4 here, the second wave, the body itself. So Satan returns. Job's integrity is still attacked. God allows a second test. So God's allowing all of this. Job 2:6 and 7. Behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth and smote Job with sores and boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown, covered in boils and sores. Now his skin erupts with agonizing sores. He sits among ashes, scraping himself with pottery shards, while his wife urges, curse God and die. So 2:9. The wider torment. What follows is 40 chapters of spiritual and psychological misery. Friends insist his suffering must mean guilt. His community mocks him, Job 30. He cries that God has become his enemy, 16:19 and 30:21. He begs for death. Let the day perish wherein I was born. Wow, 3:3. Job's agony now spans every human dimension: bodily, emotional, social, and metaphysical. Counting the dead. So we're going to do a little count up here of how many dead roughly there will have been. A conservative tally reveals the cost of this divine experiment. So the sons here, there are 7 victims, Job 1:19. Daughters, 3, 1:19. Again, servants, 30 to 100. 1:15 to 17, 3 groups are slain. The total human deaths between 40 and 110. Animals killed, 10,000. That would be 1:3 and then 1:14 to 17. Every one of these lives is extinguished without cause. So you're talking about at least 40 deaths. Yeah, at least 40. More like about 100. Job again 2:3. Thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause is the operative line. Immoral reckoning. Within the logic of the test, Job's endurance vindicates divine justice. Faith survives even when stripped of reward, yet the narrative's own language undermines that defense. The deity admits to authorizing slaughter for no moral reason beyond demonstration. If these events were committed by human hands, we would call them cruelty, not love. All right, loving God here behaves as a cosmic gambler trading human lives to win a debate. The story's moral brilliance is in its poetry of protest. Its poetry of protest lies in Job's refusal to accept tidy answers. He demands explanation, and none are given. God's final speech from the whirlwind silences rather than justifies. Where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? 38:4. Job 38:4. Aftermath. In the epilogue, Job 42:10 to 17, Job receives new children, double his former wealth and long life. But the text never suggests the first 10 children were resurrected. Their deaths remain the cost of proving a point. 10 children killed. Conclusion, love on trial here. The book of Job remains one of the most profound indictments of easy theology ever written. It forces the reader to ask what kind of love permits innocent deaths to demonstrate loyalty. If opponents can destroy without cause, can it still be called good? Omnipotence, can destroy without cause, can it still be good? Question. Job never curses God, but the story leaves the question open for anyone who reads it. These kinds of things are witnessed by fanatical cults. And, put yourself on the line instantly for me, and it will be part of the greater good. Kill or be killed. Sacrifice your children for me. Often that's part of a greater cause. Right? You could argue, at least in the minds of fanatics around the world and through the ages, Job's test here is really comes from a willingness here for God to just prove his own brilliance and to prove that his followers fanatically follow him. I cannot see how, beyond a different kind of reading, where faith in the way, faith in some kind of divine providence might yield results down the line. But apart from that, this is really a terrible indictment of a God who just tends to torture his own people, and this happens through the Old Testament, and is vengeful and is just nasty. So just putting that out there. Peace and love. Remember, 100 people just slain for no good reason other than to prove himself. Why?